Welcome to our video on game theory. Game theory is an interesting concept that helps us understand strategic decision making. We can use game theory in our everyday choices, but it is mostly used in the oligopoly market. Oligopoly is when just a few big companies are in charge, and they can really affect how the market works because of how much they control and depend on each other. Game theory helps explain and predict how this firm makes strategic decisions in response to each other action. One more time, game theory helps explain and predict how these firms make strategic decisions in response to each other's action. The example is, if AirAsia increased their advertising spending, should Lion Air do the same thing or just leave the advertising spending the same? We can solve this using the game theory. Before we talk deeper a real case of game theory, I would like to give the example of game theory in the reality show The Mole. In the part of the games, they divide the participants into two groups. For example, Group A and also Group B. Each group are separated into different places. The game rule is like this. If they do nothing, just keep silent for 45 minutes, the total price of $10,000 will be directly added to the pot. Yet, after the games, there will be quiz, and each participant will take the quiz and then one of them may get eliminated. But the groups can choose not to be silent. The group who do not keep silent and solve the computer password first got exemption for elimination.
In this cage, next to the key, there is something else that you may be very interested in. An exemption.
But the total of $10,000 will not be added to the pot. I can summarize here. If both groups keep silent, $10,000 will be added to the pot. If one group only solves the problem while the other keeps silent, that group could get exemption. But if both of the groups solve the password, there will be no $10,000 and the probability of got the exemption is only 50%. What should each group do? Of course, they can take decisions by considering using game theory. Now, let's talk deeper about the concept of game theory. John Nash demonstrates how people can cooperate or compete in a various situation, much like players in a game. This brings us to the heart of game theory, payoff matrix. In game theory, there are three main elements. The first one is the player, the second one is the strategy, and the third one is the payoff matrix. One more time, the first one is the player, the second one is the strategy, and the last one is the payoff matrix. The payoff matrix is a tool that helps us analyze strategic interaction. It shows the possible outcome or payoff for each player based on their choice. Let's say two ice cream vendors, Amy and also Bob, are deciding whether to set high price or low price. The payoff matrix might look like this. The number here is the number of units sold they can get. In this payoff matrix, the players are Amy and Bob. The strategies are taking the high price or low price. And the payoff matrix is like this. If both Amy and Bob set high price, they both will get 5 units sold. If Amy set low price while Bob set high price, Amy can sell 12 units while Bob only sell 3 units. If Amy set high price while Bob set low price, Amy can sell only 3 units while Bob can sell 12 units. If both of them sell the low price, both of them can sell 10 units. Now, let's talk about dominant strategy. A dominant strategy is a choice that yields the highest payoff for a player regardless of the other player's choice. One more time, a dominant strategy is a choice that yields the highest payoff for a player regardless of other player's choice. In our example, if Bob set high price, Amy is better off to set lower price. Because when Bob set high price, Amy can sell 12 units if Amy set the low price. If Bob sets low price, Amy is better off to set lower price as well. Therefore, no matter what Bob does, Amy is better off to set lower price. Hence, setting the lower price is Amy's dominant strategy. Now, let's search what Bob's dominant strategy is. If Amy set high price, Bob is better off setting lower price because he can sell more units. If Amy set lower price, Bob is better off to set low price as well. It means setting low price is also Bob's dominant strategy. How if Amy set high price, Bob is better off setting low price, but when Amy set low price, Bob is better off setting high price. It means the decision is different when other opponents choose different strategy. If the decision is different when other opponents choose different strategy, the players do not have dominant strategy. One more time, if the decision is different when other opponents choose different strategy, the players do not have dominant strategy. Conversely, a dominated strategy is a choice that results in a lower payoff, no matter what the other player does. Conversely, a dominated strategy is a choice that results in a lower payoff, no matter what the other player does. It means Amy dominated strategy is setting high price, and so is Bob. But the most interesting part of game theory is finding the Nash equilibrium. Nash equilibrium. Nash equilibrium is the condition where both players make their best choice given the other's player choice. When each player has dominant strategy, equilibrium occurs when each player follows their dominant strategy. However, there can be an equilibrium even though players do not have any dominant strategy. Since Amy and Bob's dominant strategy is setting the low price, therefore, the next equilibrium is when both Amy and also Bob set their price to low. At this point, neither can improve their payoff by changing their strategy. Do you understand, right? Now let's dive into a classic game theory scenario, the prisoner's dilemma. Prisoner's dilemma occurs when actually the next equilibrium is not the best choice. Imagine two suspects, Alice and Bob. They are arrested for a crime. They are separated and offered a deal by the police. If both stay silent, they both serve 1 year jail. If one talks and the other stays silent, the talker goes free while the silent one serves 20 years jail. If they both talk, they both serve 5-year jails. The payoff matrix for this situation might look like this. The dominant strategy for both players are talking. Therefore, the next equilibrium is they both talk. But when they both talk, each of them will serve 5-year jails. You can see here, if both remain silent, they only serve 1 year jail for each. It means the next equilibrium is not the best choice in this case. Therefore, we call this as prisoner's dilemma. It's better for them to remain silent while the next equilibrium is both of them talk. This is a classic example of how rational individuals can end up in a suboptimal situation due to that incentive. Game theory helps us understand strategic decision making in various fields, from economics to biology and even in everyday life. It is a powerful tool for analyzing human behavior and making informed choices.